Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dee about to react to this vid by Queen Coma. It's titled Why Nobody Cares About Young Miami Anymore. But, yeah, apparently other people are not feeling her and her new music. Let's see what she has to say, though. Let's watch.
So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Trauma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about why nobody really cares about Young Miami anymore and how we even got to this point. Now, this conversation really came from me just being online, seeing her pop up a little bit more recently, whether it's clips from interviews, posts, or even previews of new music she's about to drop, and paying attention to how people are reacting. Because one thing I always do is I don't just watch the celebrity, I watch the audience. That tells you everything that you need to know. And what I've been noticing is that the reaction is just flat. You know what I'm saying? Think about like a fresh silk press, no curl, just flat, right? It's not excitement.
They said they got some work from home positions on Indeed. You need to go look on there.
It's not people rushing to support. It's not even strong backlash. It's just people not really moved at all. And that stood out to me because this is someone who had a real moment. When the City Girls first came out, that era was loud, it was fun, it was unapologetic, and people were locked in. I mean, I was in college, so I was like, yes, okay. So to see the shift now where she's still active, still posting, still trying to put music out, but the response is not matching the effort, I had to sit and really think about what changed. I also watched one of her more recent interviews where she's talking about her life, her situation,
she still got
everything she has going on, and it made me realize that this
ain't her show.
conversation is bigger than people just saying she fell off. I think there's a real disconnect happening between her and the audience, and part of that disconnect comes from the fact that a lot of people who supported that City Girls era have grown up. We're not all in the same stage of life anymore. A lot of us, like me, were in college, we were going out, we were having our little phase, listening to that type of music because it matched that time.
Yeah,
but now people are older, people are working on careers, relationships.
She should have matured her music a bit. Like, you need to grow up.
Marriage, motherhood, stability, and just more settled in life. So when someone is still giving you the same thing they gave almost 10 years ago at this point, people start looking at it differently. So this video is really me breaking that down and just giving my opinion on why that connection is not there anymore. So I've broken this video down into 3 main talking points. So without further ado,
she should have transitioned into like a grown and sexy.
And I have something to share with you today.
Y'all go support.
Or are forced to use unsafe alternatives like tissue, newspapers, or even leaves. So in some communities, girls are even pressured into sex for pads simply to manage their periods. This is why I am partnering with Glow Care Foundation during Menstrual Hygiene Day this May to provide sustainable sanitary kits to thousands of girls in Imo State, Nigeria. These kits will help girls.
Okay, this is a good cause. I'll allow it. Y'all know I always skip the little. I'll allow it.
Stay in school, protect their health, and preserve their dignity. If you are able, please consider donating to support this mission. Every contribution helps keep a girl in school. Thank you in advance for helping us make a difference. Signed, Queen Choma. Now, starting off with point number 1, the Diddy situation did not help. But it's not the only
It didn't help at all.
So let's start with what everyone's probably already thinking about, which is her connection to Sean Combs, because that definitely shifted how people viewed her. Once everything started coming out about him, the tone around his name changed completely. I mean, I feel like it was there, but it just got amplified. And when you're tied to somebody like that publicly, people are going to look at you differently, whether you feel like it's fair or not. And in her case, it wasn't just that she was linked to him, it was how she chose to move after everything came out, for being for real. The public saw her continue to stand beside him. She was going to stick.
She was like, I didn't experience that with him. Like, okay, we're not talking about you. Then you shut up then if you have nothing to contribute to the conversation. Like, it gave that she was trying to defend him low-key. I didn't like that.
Beside him, right? And one of the biggest moments was when it came out that she had written a letter to the judge during his legal situation. And that went viral because people were looking at it like, out of everything that's being said and everybody that's coming out, you're still choosing to publicly support this man in that way? Yeah, that was a major turning point for a lot of people. If they hadn't already dropped her, they were like, we're done. Because it wasn't just rumors or speculation anymore. It was very direct action that showed where she stood. Like, she drew a line and she chose. On top of that, there were also those images that surfaced of them together in, like, I think they were wearing white robes. And the timing of that made it even worse because this was after a lot of the allegations had already came out. So people were looking at that like, you're not even trying to create distance. You're standing 10 toes down in it. And for a lot of people, that was where they mentally checked out. Now, me personally, I do believe her when she said her experience with him may not have been the same as other women because every situation is different, but the public is not separating that as we should. People are looking at the overall picture and making a decision based on that. And once they make that decision, they don't really go back and revisit it, especially when the allegations are that crazy. You can say your personal situation was different, but the baggage attached to his name is so heavy that a lot of people are not going to care about that explanation. They're looking at the fact that you still chose to stand beside him publicly, and in this climate,
because the fact that he didn't do that to you, you claim, which I don't believe you, honestly. I think he was pissing on you and being weird. Maybe he didn't put his hands on you in that manner, but I feel like he was doing all that weird shit that he did with Cassie with you. But even if that was your experience, it does not negate the fact that he did that with other women, that he did that to Cassie. It doesn't negate any of that. So what is the point of you being like, I didn't have that experience? So what? So fucking what? It still happened with these other women. So why do you need to come forward and be like, well, that didn't happen with me? Like, that's just trifling as hell. I don't care. I don't think that nobody cares if that's her truth. People are like, well, that is her experience. She can say her experience. No, not when he's being put in the spotlight for doing what he did to Cassie and all these other horrible things. Why are you coming forward and being like, that wasn't what happened with me? Like, are we okay?
That alone was enough for people to say deuces. And I also think this matters because her brand has always been so connected to men, money, status, and being attached to powerful men, right? Or men with money. So when the man she attached herself to becomes this controversial, it affected the brand even more. It made people look at the whole city girl lifestyle differently because now it's no longer just fun music and catchy captions. Now people are looking at the real life cost of being attached to certain men and certain lifestyles.
Hello.
But at the same time, I don't think that situation by itself is the reason why people don't care anymore. I think it definitely added to it. It was definitely heavy on the scale. I think it sped things up, but I don't think it created the problem from scratch. Because if the connection between her and the audience was still strong, people would have found a way to stay engaged. I mean, that's what the toxic internet does. Even if they disagree with her, we've seen that happen with other celebrities. The fact that the reaction turned into people just not caring tells me that there was already some distance there, and that situation just pushed it over the edge. It made people stop giving her the benefit of the doubt, and once that happens, like I've always said, it is very hard to pull people back in. Now, moving on to point number 2, she didn't grow with her audience, okay? And I think this is where the main issue is for me, because a lot of us were in a completely different place in life when we were listening to the City Girls initially. That music matched the moment. It was fun. It was carefree. It was very much about being outside, not thinking too far ahead, just enjoying life for what it was at the time. And that worked because the audience was in that same place mentally. A lot of us were like maybe 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, like around that time. Now we're on the other side of that, and it's just like, girl, we've grown up. People are more focused on their careers, their relationships, their families, or just having more stability in their lives overall. We don't have time to be careless and chaotic. Even the way people date and move now is different. So when you listen to her current music, I believe she just dropped a song today, or even the snippets that she's been previewing, and it still sounds like it's coming from that same exact phase of life, it definitely creates a disconnect. Like the song that she dropped today, don't remember the name, but she's talking about scammers, talking about where's the scammers at, where the boosters, and it's like, again, at this point in your life, is that still the focus? And I'm not saying that she can't have fun or talk her talk. I believe in that, but you have to have balance, and there has got to be some type of progression in what you're saying. You can still be confident, you can still pop it, you can still make music that women want to dance to, but after a while, people want to hear something that sounds like you have lived more in life, even if it's just about you. I think that's why the where the scammers at type of subject matter feels tired coming from her now, because it feels like the same conversation from years ago, and the audience is not in that place anymore. Even with her song where she's like, you know it's tea when you see them 2 fingers touching, you know, where she does a little 2-finger thing. I liked it. From a marketing standpoint, I liked it. It was catchy. It made for, TikTok, and it's something people can latch on to quickly. And the phrase itself was smart because people love a little simple hook or a simple move that can be repeated online and in person. But when you actually listen to the actual song, I was not impressed. People were not impressed. The comments were saying it wasn't good, they didn't like it, and that matters because virality can only carry you so far if the music itself is not connecting. And this is where I bring up Megan Thee Stallion, right? Because if you look at Megan Thee Stallion, she still makes the same type of music in terms of confidence and sexuality, but there's more balance now, if you ask me, especially with her last few projects. When she dropped Lover Girl, even though people had their opinions on the video, I personally still feel like that's one of my favorite songs by Megan because you can tell she's in a place where she's being loved on correctly. We're seeing that publicly as well with her appearances with Klay Thompson, and the relationship looks like it suits her. People like seeing Megan happy, softer.
It's so funny. You can tell she being loved on right. Cut to Megan saying, "You treated me horrible. Your attitude was terrible." Y'all, we don't know these people. We don't know what's going on based on a few pictures and video clips, y'all. That does not tell us anything.
Supported and in a relationship that looks good on her. And that resonates with a fan base that is also getting older because a lot of women in their late 20s and early 30s are either trying to settle down, thinking more seriously about love, or at the least wanting relationships that feel healthy and stable. Megan can still make her more sexual songs, but now there's more range. Just with that, there's a balance there. With Young Miami, it feels like we're still getting the same one layer over and over again, right? And after a while, people just lose interest because they're like, they've already heard that before. We've been did that, girl, right? And I think that's what makes it feel especially noticeable with her because she is not the same.
I think also the music is not good. If it was good, I'm going to listen to some ratchet shit, some stupid shit. There's always a place for it in my playlist. There's a time and place for everything. We don't need deep music all the time, no matter what age you are. Sometimes you just want some good music to play when you on the treadmill, all right? Getting some cardio in. I want some upbeat music. I don't need no reflective music or being like, oh, let me listen to somebody who's on my same, level in life, who sounds mature. No, I want to listen to some turn up stupid music when I am on the elliptical. Okay, that's my cardio machine of choice. So it's not about that for me primarily. Although I think it would have helped maybe a bit. But I think it's just because the music is bad. It's just bad. So spoiler alert about how I feel on Patreon.
Brand new artist trying to find herself. We're going to give newer artists that grace, but she's a grown woman. She has children. She has had the peak of her career. She has made money. She has been around powerful people. And at a certain point, people expect that life experience to show up in the art, or at least in the branding. I'm not saying she has to become a completely different person, but there should be more maturity in the message. There should be something that says, I have been through things, I have learned things, and I am not still mentally in the same place I was when the City Girls first came out. And right now, I don't think we see that from her. Now, moving on to my third and final point, the brand was strong, but it hasn't evolved. So this is kind of continuing from my previous point, but I will say this. Because I don't think she gets enough credit for it, she did make smart moves outside of music. And I can't say that about every artist. Her podcast, Carisha Please, was a good idea. It gave her another platform, it kept her in conversations, and allowed her personality to carry her in a different way. And I actually think that's one of her strongest assets, because whether people like her voice or not, whether people critique her grammar or not, she does have a personality that people recognize. She has a way of making moments, and that does matter in entertainment. Same thing with the Risha Roulette card game. That was very on brand. I give that an A+. It made sense for her audience, and it was something people could actually engage with in real life and purchase from. So from a business perspective, that was a solid move. People could play it at kickbacks, parties, girls' nights, or whatever setting made sense for them. And even if I personally don't plan on playing it, I can admit that it was a good product for her brand and matched who people knew her to be.
Those cards was nasty.
Something outside of just music. So she does understand branding. She does understand how to market herself, and I'll give her that. But the issue is that everything still connects back to the same version of herself. It's still centered around that same lifestyle, that same focus, that same image. Very, very male identified and male focused, and there hasn't been much expansion beyond that. And I think celebrities have to understand that when you have fame, especially the kind of fame that comes from music, you have to eventually turn that into something bigger than the original platform.
Agreed, for the most part. Y'all check out her vid. I will link it down below if you want to hear the rest of her thoughts. But yeah, I think overall of this, the music isn't good. So that's the problem. If you come with a bop, with a nice little beat, nice hook, you got some decent bars in there, people are gonna fuck with it. It's mainly because her music isn't good. All right, that's the problem. But I wish her well, I guess. I don't like her though, honestly. You know, the thing that happened with Diddy, I didn't like her years ago when she said that if she found out that her son was gay, she would beat the gay out of him. I never liked her since then. So, you know, I don't personally care for her at all, but, you know, still, I hope she figures it out and gets it together. But I don't see it happening because she's a bird. She has a bird brain. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.